Small business is a part of all of us each and every day. It's where we eat, it's where we shop, it's where we go to meet our friends and colleagues. In the wake of COVID-19, our small business community desperately needs our help. We must do our part to help our local communities to once again thrive. We must focus our attention on the small businesses that are the fabric of our great nation. SureUp is a network of small business owners, their employees, and local consumers all working in unison to support each other. By creating incentives for consumers to think local before considering regional and national providers to fulfill their needs, we create local job opportunities and rebuild our communities. In addition, through AI-driven tools and machine learning, in just 5 minutes a day, SureUp assists business owners in improving their social media presence, which enhances their visibility among consumers and levels the playing field so that local businesses can better compete with large, name-brand online competitors. When local businesses leverage the SureUp platform, full-time and part-time employees, whether W-2 or 1099, are rewarded with a variety of voluntary perks and member benefit options. These include discounts on the things people do every day, access to low-cost, subscription-based telehealth and teletherapy, discounted prescription drug plans, connection to exclusive Prosper resources, and so much more. All for less than the cost of a cup of coffee each day. The JumpStart Marketplace is here to support the health and wellness of individual employees, as well as the health of businesses in the local communities in which we live and work. We're all in this together, so join us as we reinvigorate our local community and improve the physical and financial health of working America.
All right, folks, we are back, and thank you so much for joining the program. We're in the second segment of the program, the Marketplace Show Reset and JumpStart TV. I'm your host, Anthony Weeks, and I'll be joined by my colleague and our invited guest shortly. We are broadcasting on several platforms. We're broadcasting live on WSDX Radio, 970 AM. We're broadcasting live on the Kalaloo Network. We're broadcasting live on La Mega Mundial. We're also broadcasting on Tempo Television, on cable TV, throughout the United States, throughout the Caribbean, and of course parts of South America. And then we're also streaming live on multiple social media platforms. Today, this is on the second segment. We're going to get into part two of our discussion on how we are going to help local business to succeed. We're going to take a deep dive. We're going to do two things. We're going to provide some really important information as to why is it that you need to make sure that you have the optimum opportunity to be able to give yourself a fighting chance to survive in normal circumstances, but more important in this current environment. This is an extremely difficult environment for all businesses, not just local businesses, but business across the spectrum. But in particular, we need to do everything. We need to do our part to make sure that we preserve and sustain and maintain a certain quality of life, support our neighbors, those businesses who are struggling and need our help. It's good that we have the convenience and the ability to shop and do business with whomever we want to at any time, anywhere. But we cannot neglect and we cannot ignore the fact that we have to do our part to be able to maintain a community, a vibrant community. And today we're going to have an opportunity to do that. I'm going to bring in my colleague, Terry Coxum. She is the lead on our small business segment here on the Marketplace Reset Show and JumpStart TV. Hi, Terry. How are you?
I'm good. How's it going? Good.
So I know that you've done your civic duty, right? You were at the polling station, burning the midnight oil and counting those ballots.
Yeah. It's been all day yesterday actually at the polling site, and we're in a waiting pattern now. So we're waiting to see, but it was also an opportunity just to get together and just to talk to other like-minded individuals that were doing their civic duty. It was also a great opportunity to talk to individuals as they were coming into the polling sites, to talk to small business owners, to talk to, to teachers, to talk to trainers, to talk to other individuals. I even had a small business that came in to handle a contract. He was working the poll pads, and he was talking about the difficulty. And we talked a little bit about P3, which is the payroll protection program. And we also talk about the EIDL loan, which is the emergency disaster relief loan. And I gave him a couple of tips. And so my colleagues, my friends that are now my new friends from the polling site, they were like, you know a lot about small business. So that was a great opportunity to kind of share some of that information with other people.
Nice.
So we're always out there trying to encourage and inspire and, to make sure that our businesses are growing and thriving. So it was a good opportunity.
Yeah. I'm excited about our part 2 conversation with both Chris, Ben, and Van Roy Hosier. These are 2 dynamic tech guys, very proficient in their particular area of expertise. But they're really gonna get into how what are some of the things we can do to really make sure that these small businesses not only survive but succeed.
That's right.
And able to compete.
That's right.
It's not just about survival. It's right now. We got to make sure that everybody's accounted for, everybody's front and center, and we're going to do our part to support each other. But obviously, once we get there, they need to have the tools to allow them to prosper and succeed in this environment as well. I'm going to bring up Chris and Van Roy.
Yeah,
and can't wait to have that conversation with them and see Mr. Man, Mr. Chris Ben. How's it going on, man? How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty
Fantastic.
good. Pretty good.
Nice to see you again.
All right, and I see Van Roy is MIA. Hopefully. So how you been, Chris? While we wait for Van Roy to get back in position.
Terrific. I'm so I'm recovering from what I like to call the political Super Bowl last evening, and is now in overtime, right? So it looks like overtime will be multiple days here as the presidential election is decided. And in some states, it's 8,000 votes that separate the 2 candidates. It certainly underscores the fact that the country is divided, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I've listened to enough of these talking heads share about the referendum on the president, whether you're for him or voting against him was really the deciding factor. Mm-hmm. It didn't really have anything at all to do with voting for Vice President Biden, right?
Right.
It was all about whether or not you are for President Trump or against President Trump. So I found that very interesting because the small business environment certainly hangs in the balance here, right? This is a very important environment to better understand. And Van Roy, Atlanta in particular, right? But Georgia as a whole is one of those states. I'm in Massachusetts. There was never any question that the first vote that was cast, if the rule was for, they checked the box for Vice President Biden, right? So that was the end of that in Massachusetts. But Georgia is one of those environments that continues to hang in the balance.
Unfortunately.
At least for me, it's my first time actually voting here in Atlanta, and it meant something.
Oh, it's your first time voting in Atlanta?
First time. I've never voted in the United States. It's the first time.
You guys are an unruly bunch in Atlanta, man. I mean, you guys are ruckus down there. What's going on down there? You guys are stirring the pot up down in Atlanta.
I felt it meant something this time. I told him I used to always vote in the Virgin Islands, so I've been a Virgin Island resident. I've never voted in the U.S., but I felt it was important this time to vote against Trump, whatever his name is. Yeah, get it done.
Politics, man.
Your point, Chris.
Politics is a blood sports, man. It's a blood sport, man.
Sure is.
I remember growing up. They said there are 3 things you never talk about: religion,
politics,
and finance.
Money. They tell us just money.
Money. Exactly. And
I thought it was sex.
It is so true today, man. That is it's such a sensitive topic. Everything is so hyper, it's very polarized,
Right.
hyper partisan. It's like everybody's like picking sides. It's like, okay, that's it. Forget about the relationship. You don't agree with me? All right, we're done.
I think it's a little deeper than that. I think it's a little deeper than that. I think that our interest, and right now it has to do with the small business, right? To Van Roy and to Chris, and all the wonderful things that you're doing in the business space. I think this speaks to that, right? So there are different interests across both aisles, right? And so some people feel like one would be better for their interest over another. But what I'm interested more in, Van Roy and Christopher, is just a little bit more about the services that you guys are offering, because quite frankly, our businesses need it even more now today than they did yesterday. It is very polarizing when we talk about politics, but it involves everything we do in every single way. And so I'm going to start first with you, Chris, because there's so many things that we can unpack on this show, but I want to really just kind of dive into how we're helping our small businesses, and so that they'll know, the marketplace is a place for them to come to. They can showcase their businesses. They can get the resources and the tools from guys like you that can share some of your experiences, but more importantly, share some of your products. So talk to me, Chris.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you said it very well, Terry. Today, more so than yesterday, and even more so than the day before, and so forth, small business owners, they're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
And they have a choice to make, right? They're either going to compete and survive, or they're going to be run over. Those are the two options, right? Yeah. And, we've seen so many of these businesses during the last 9 months of pandemic and continuing, right? And some instances even worsening. Those businesses have just folded, right? They're gone. So what can we do, right? I think I'm a big believer in, we choose our own destiny and we work towards that.
Right.
And if our goal here, or our objective, is to grow as a business, we're going to have to find better ways to communicate with our local areas and consumers. Okay, that's just the bottom line. So what we did was we started there. Okay, we started with a social media platform that allows business owners to proactively communicate with the many followers they have on environments like Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and so forth. But that wasn't enough. Okay, the one thing, they certainly have to be visible. They've got to raise that visibility, but that wasn't enough. So we also needed to create an environment for these business owners that would allow them to showcase their products or services, and then allow a consumer that they've already connected with through Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., to be able to shop that store online, and ultimately transact business with them. So we worked very closely with Van Roy, and we developed a system that essentially allows that business owner turnkey access to marketing to their local community where they're most likely to get that business. Let's be honest. A business in the Caribbean is not probably going to transact very well in Kansas. Right? It's just not going to happen. But if you're in Kansas, you may well have a number of followers in Kansas, and you should be making those followers aware of your existence, your product or service offering, the ability to transact that product or service offering, and then be able to fulfill it. So we created this turnkey system that allows for all of that to happen, from the outreach to those social media followers all the way through shipping that product to that individual. And that's how I think small business will win and compete on an online stage, which it's evident that this is here to stay. This is not something that
technology. Yep. And even more so now, technology is pivotal, right? So if you're not a part of technology, then you're not going to exist, because everything now is online. And so, Van Roy, I want you to talk a little bit about that product. And I'm thinking about it as Chris was speaking, and he said either your product or service offering. So we have small business owners on both sides, right? For instance, I'm a consultant, and so I have a service offering. I do have a product because I'm an author, so I offer books and merch, but mostly it's my service that we're offering. And so I want you to give me a little, translate to me how that service offering works on a platform like yours. And then what is the name of the platform?
Oh, thanks for the question. Like I said, we have decided to brand our platform here in the U.S. as Cumin. And cumin, if you're not familiar, it's a very powerful spice, and it does the body well.
Cumin.
Yes, cumin.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know cumin well. I use it in cooking.
Yeah, so it's one of those spices that I think that anybody anywhere can understand the benefits and what it is. And I just had a little play on the world. And I said, hey, so it's cumin, and then we call it cumin up. But when you see it, it will sound like coming up. And this is what we're thinking about small business. This is the way for them to come up to the level to compete with the big boys. Okay. The platform itself is designed, is very simply to give that business owner, whether they're small, if they don't have a bank account, they don't have a debit card, don't have a presence, whatever the thing that are limiting them from being able to participate, we want to be able to give them that whole point of, hey, just have a product and sign up and allow people to see it and transact with you. And you're in business. You'll be able to make some money and actually survive.
Okay, so walk me through this, right? So Peaceful Pondering, you see the name of my book is in the back. So Chris, Van Roy, I come on Cumin Up, right? I'm on your platform, and I decide to put my book and my merchandise for Peaceful Pondering on the platform, right? So I am able to upload, the images to the platform. I don't need a PayPal account or any other account. Everything is already available to me. If I don't have a debit card or all that, I can actually still collect monies because of the way the platform is built out. Walk me through that, because that's very important to small businesses. I know a lot of businesses that I've encouraged to now get websites. And then the first thing they want to know is, okay, now how do I sell my product on this website? And then the second thing they want to know is, how do I get traffic to my website? So tell me how Cumin Up is going to help with those two things.
Well, Tara, I know that Anthony had some videos or some slides that he wanted to show exactly how the product. I don't know if it's something you wanted to have Anthony come in and do that now while we talk about it. Anthony?
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to try to bring up some other stuff as well. That's why I had to go backstage, that I wanted to share with the audience. But what I can do is I can bring this up, and then we can kind of recap the information well. And what I wanted to do, Terry, before we do that as well, I wanted to kind of share some important information as to the why. The why, because there are a number of publications that have written extensively about the challenge that small business, local businesses are having. And I just want to kind of share some stuff with you guys and get your take before we get into the demonstration of the platform itself. And they're saying one of the things CNBC wrote, they said, you'll be shocked to learn how many small businesses still don't have a website.
Right.
And
well,
yeah. And then you look at some of the issues that are plaguing some of these businesses, and the data is very, very interesting, to say the least.
Okay, I'm sure access to capital is one of the top ones up there, right, Anthony?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's always,
but in terms of there is traditional marketing, word of mouth, advertising on radio, advertising on TV, your local paper, flyer, talking to your neighbor, right?
Your social media now. Social media takes a big part now.
Right. But I'm saying, before we get into the digital, most small businesses, when they start, they tend to lack they never really plan and made provision to really properly market their business.
Right.
That has been an issue, period.
Right.
Now here comes the digital era of having to go do business online, having a social media page, all that other good stuff. And so one of the issue that came out is digital marketing helps small businesses build lasting customer relationship. And this is very important. That the why as to why these businesses need to do this is because it says digital market helps small businesses build lasting customer relations. They surveyed over 1,190 U.S.-based small businesses who responded to the KEEP survey. That the third biggest challenge in 2019 was retaining and re-engaging customers.
You know what that says to me, Anthony?
Was that?
You know what that says to me?
What?
That says to me that they're lacking. They're not giving the business that they're doing business with. They're not giving their client the experience.
Right.
The business.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's pivotal though. That's a huge thing because, like you said, the biggest thing is marketing, right? So getting traffic to your business. But the second thing is that experience. If I come to you and I do business with you, and I may be satisfied at the end because I went from point A to point B and that's what I wanted to do. But if I didn't feel like, it was a good experience, or I didn't feel like it was enough to come back, you're not going to come back to that experience. And so, that's really going to be interesting to find out how Van Roy and Christopher actually give you that business experience on the platform. So that's that's a key one right there, Anthony.
And they went into some of these interviews making the assumption, right? It was safe to assume that most of them were online or using some sort of internet on a daily basis to increase digital marketing efforts in 2020. So
right.
here are some of the respondents. They said of the following options, which is the biggest challenge you'll face back in 2019, not 2020, back in 2019. 29% said I won't be using digital marketing in 2019. They did not use it in 2019. 29%. 22% said finding time and resource for marketing. 22%. 15% of the respondents says converting leads into customers. 12% said retaining and re-engaging customers. And then 9% said generating web traffic. Then 7% said capturing leads. And 6% said understanding marketing tactics and the trend. Does any of those things surprise any of you guys, Chris, Van Roy, Terry, in terms of what the response has been?
They don't surprise me at all. I think most people that own small businesses, they're passionate about what they do, right? They enjoy whatever it is that they're offering. If they're, a plumber or an electrician or stonemason or you name it, they're doing what they do. If they sell watches or, jackets or whatever they sell, they're very good at it and they enjoy it. That's why they got in the small business. The rest of it, they're not equipped. They don't know how to build a website. They don't know how to market. They certainly don't know how to account for money, because if they did, more businesses would stay in business. Right. So all these different aspects are missing in most business environments. You're good at building stone walls. That has nothing to do with marketing your service. And take a look at the people that are out doing that kind of work. Some of them don't even have a sign out in front of the beautiful wall they built. Think about it, right? They don't know to market, right? They don't know about it because they've been busy. Well, good. Here's the problem. They're about to be less so. Yeah. Right. And you're going to have to now fight for every customer interaction that you get to have. It's going to be a gift, and you're going to celebrate that customer interaction. So to Terry's point, they better be satisfied and they better enjoy the experience. Otherwise, that interaction is going to be one and done.
That's right.
Repeat customers. And so Anthony, no, it doesn't surprise me at all to recognize that some of those responses, they overlap, right?
Yeah, they do overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do overlap. And I think it doesn't surprise me because I teach business, right? And I do business development. So that's the only reason why it doesn't surprise me. I think it may have surprised me a little more before I actually was in the business of growing business, right? But the thing I hear all the time, I can save marketing for later. I could do marketing later, right? And that's a huge thing. And I'm like, no, you can't. I'll ask the business owner, who are you trying to market to? And they'll say, everyone. Everyone can't be your market. Everyone cannot be. You cannot target everyone. Everyone can't be a part of your target market. And then when I break it down to them and they realize they really don't want to market to everyone. They don't want to market to the little children because they have nothing for children. They don't want to market to the older adults because they're not offering anything to them. They have a set market that they should be targeting. And it's not until we get into why they should target them. We look at the numbers, we look at the income levels, we look at the demographics, and then they better understand the marketplace. But one thing that Chris said, everything overlaps. Time management. Again, 2020 gave us a lot more time to think about it, right?
Whether we wanted it or not.
Yeah, whether we liked it or not, we were on pause, right? And then that time and resource, looking at the time and resources, that's a huge one. One of the things that businesses that I work with, especially now in New York, and we had to do reopening plans for them. And I've mentioned this on the show before. And Anthony talked about it. They didn't have a website. And if they did have a website, they didn't have a way to pay. And if they did have a way to pay, they didn't have a delivery service in place. And so all of these things had to take place, and they had to take place pretty quickly, or they would have been out of business even sooner, right? So all of these things, marketing is a huge piece. I don't think that businesses understand the importance of it until something like 2020 happens, and you realize not everyone, the people that you need to know that you're there, they don't know that you're there. And so the platform that you guys are offering absolutely gives them the opportunity to market their widget, to sell, whether it's an offering or whether it's a product or a service, and they're able to collect their money, whether they have a account with whatever service you want to name. If it's PayPal or Cash App or Venmo, you actually have a service for them. Christopher said it. Not everyone can build a website. You don't need to build a website. Anthony talks about the marketplace being that place for you to showcase your talents, your wares, and your widgets. That's something that wasn't available before. And so businesses are now tuning in, and whoever's listening to us today, I encourage you, to go into Cumin Up, to go into the marketplace, to see what's going on, because there's tons of opportunities that are available to you to market your offerings, to market whatever your widget is, to get services, to find out about loans, to find out about grants, because a lot of businesses don't want loans, to see what other tools, tips, and resources are available to them, or just to get back in contact with you guys to see how that you can use this platform for them to grow their business. But then, Roy, I want to hear some more from you because you haven't jumped in yet. So
Right. And before Van Roy comes in, because I want to make sure I get this in, because this is some really compelling information, and I want to make sure that we're really soaking it all in here. One of the things that they also talked about was that digital marketing offers a multiple channel approach to boost conversion.
Yeah.
Okay. In layman terms, your potential customer could be anywhere online and do business with you. And why is that important? Because in this environment, where we are restricted as to how we can do business because of the safety measures that have to take place, and so this has become more of a virtual environment to do business. So what you're accustomed to people coming in through your business, coming through the door to do business, touchy-feely, that is not this environment. Okay, it's unstable, volatile. And so therefore you got to be prepared, no matter what the timing is, no matter what the situation is, you are prepared to do business, period.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so as Chris always said, and I love Chris when he says you got to create a frictionless environment between the business and the customer. And so here's the survey. It says 41% of U.S. buyers search and buy on Amazon, while 28% search on Google, then buy on Amazon. So small business SEO is still crucial. Okay, the attitude, what the consumer, the ritual, the process the consumer go through before they decide something. 3.2 billion people, or 42% of the world population, use social media today. Okay, this is according to Emirates in 2019. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, LinkedIn are the market leaders. LinkedIn offers 80% of social media B2B leads. For example, on an average, these people spend 2 hours and 22 minutes on social media networks per day.
Wow.
You want me to repeat that?
Wow.
This is what you're missing out. The people that are congregating, they're spending on an average, these people are spending 2 hours and 22 minutes on social media networks per day. 80% of the time, it's on their mobile device. 54% of the consumers browse social media for product research purposes. 73% of marketers believe that their social media marketing efforts are somewhat working for their business. 83% of marketers use video marketing in 2019, and 87% said video was earning them a good return on their investment. And finally, delaying a customer's response by even 10 minutes can decrease the chance of a sale by 400%. So consider using, I'm not going to promote the different apps here, but different apps that you can use to help boost your digital customer experience. I don't know what your thoughts on that. I just wanted to kind of sort of throw that out there so you guys can think about it and give some response, and then we can transition into the demonstration of the platform.
Yeah, let me jump in there just real quick, and I'm interested to hear from Van Roy too on this. So the fact of the matter is, you need to go where your target customers are spending time. Okay, so if they're spending 2 hours a day with their phone in hand, looking down at it, first of all, they need a chiropractor because their head is down, right? You see my bald head. So first of all, they need a chiropractor. So anybody who's a chiropractor ought to be on our platform for that reason. Secondly, and perhaps most importantly, you need to be visible to those consumers that are spending all of their time with their head buried in their phone.
That's right.
And if you're not, you aren't going to be in business. It's just that simple, right? You aren't that good, okay? You can't overcome lack of marketing. You have to do it. And the problem, I think, to your point, Terry, first of all, they put marketing second and product first. Maybe that's important initially, right, as you develop your product. But once your product is in place and selling, you need to market it. And a lot of people, I think, and I interact and consult with a lot of these folks as well, they tend to consider marketing to be an expense that is maybe ancillary or unnecessary. And they also look at it as something that's very expensive.
Yeah.
And what we've tried to do with our platform is really democratize the pricing. So essentially, for less than the cost of a cup of coffee a day, any business owner anywhere can use this platform and have that turnkey solution running tomorrow. They can put it in place tomorrow. Off they go. It is done in minutes. Okay. And there's no excuse for people not marketing their services or products. It's just that simple. And Van Roy, you've heard me say, as has Anthony and Terry, you as well, we have to have a frictionless environment that allows the business owner access to these democratized products and services that allow them to offer their wares to the marketplace. It's that simple. And I think we've accomplished that. It'll always be a moving target. My dad was a quality assurance engineer, and some of that rubbed off on me. So as I look at these kinds of platforms and I'm asked, what could you do better? My answer is always everything. We can do everything better tomorrow than we did today. Let's continue to improve the user experience. Let's remove more and more friction every day. But let's help these people who really are 50% of working America and really worldwide. Small business is big business.
Yeah.
If we don't run at this and help these people, they just won't be here. We won't have those people. We won't have those people to run at these opportunities in the future. It just, our options will diminish. The choices that we have to shop and dine, they won't be here. When we call the painter to come help, they're not going to be available. And that's a shame. It really is. These are our neighbors. These are our friends. They're in our local community. They're certainly in our social media circle. Let's talk to them. Let's help them help us. Let's ask them for support. I guarantee you one thing. If you reach to your social media marketplace, those people that actually care about you, and you share that you are in need of their help, they'll help you.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely will. And we provide a platform that allows that to happen. And we're really proud of it. And, Van Roy, you can speak more to the tech side of the platform itself. I see it as something that truly is sensational and so easy to use and so inexpensive that, I'm not sure where the remaining friction is to remove, but I'm sure we'll find some and we'll continue to enhance that.
Okay.
That's right. Exactly what you said, Chris. There's always something to improve, and we work every day to find a easier, better way, smarter, more intuitive way to get it all done. But just to add to what Terry was saying initially, the whole gist of the platform from the beginning, Terry, Chris, Tony, was just to have people to be able to engage with their constituents, their customers, the vendors, wherever they are. Mm-hmm. And today, that is happening more on your mobile device than anywhere else.
Right.
So I should be able to see you, pay you, interact with you, communicate with you, customer service, follow up with you right where I am. And that was the basic premise of when we started the payment app, but it has so many different parts in there. And I felt as long as we could take the money and the transactional part of the equation and make it easy and make it fun, then of course they'll always find something to sell, because now I can make money anywhere, anyhow, like Chris was saying earlier. So having a merchant say, I don't have a bank account. Well, you don't need that. I don't have a debit card. You don't need that. I don't have a website. You don't need that. You just need one platform that can do multiple things for you and engage and find a way for us to be able to help you become successful. And the whole gist is to find something where it's intuitive. It's easy enough for a kindergartner to do, a couple of clicks, and off you go.
So let me ask you a question. Is this an app-based product, or how does this work? I know we're going to go more into it. But just want to kind of find out, how the product really works, so our businesses that are listening to us today can understand it better, to see how it can better help them in what they're trying to do.
All right. So Anthony, you want to go through the slides and start talking about that? Anthony?
Yeah, I see something just popped up. It says
I saw it popped up there. I wasn't sure if it was something he wanted to go and do it right away. But basically, right, to answer your question, right now the platform is strictly web-based, and we do have an app that's in development.
Okay.
That's going to be coming right behind it.
Right. So the consumer will be able to get onto the platform today, basically with their widgets, their wares, or their product offerings. And then they'll be able to invite their friends on these social media platforms. They'll be able to engage their friends on these social media platforms to participate in whatever that is. So the friends will now know, because they'll be able to market the product, is what I'm understanding, right? And the friends will now know what they're doing and be able to get the service right there. So they won't need a bank account to do that. They won't need, they won't need a debit card to do that. All of that will be provided on the Cumin Up webpage, correct? That's what I'm understanding. Okay.
Well, can you hear me now? I didn't realize I was in queue. I apologize. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
So what's on the screen basically is that cheat sheet, if you will, right? Mm-hmm. That gives you the quick bullet points as to the benefit of why you need to do this. Okay. That is the starting point, and then Chris and Van Roy can then walk through the steps in how do you go about setting this thing up. Okay. So just to recap, right? These are 5 key bullet points, and when you talk about the benefit, the whys, right? The marketplace empowers your business to succeed in this virtual environment, doing business with your customers remotely at any time, anywhere, 24/7, 365 days a year.
Yes.
Number 2, the marketplace platform will provide you the tools to compete, whether or not you already have a website, and I believe Van Roy said that, an online store, whether you have a single social media platform page or multiple social media page, or you're selling on your social media page, or you're selling on Amazon, you're selling on eBay, you're selling on Shopify, Wix, Equid, and Etsy, et cetera, et cetera. Bullet point number 3, the marketplace enable any main street. And this is important because you have all kinds of different mom and pop business, main street business out there. And some will say, well, that's not for me.
Yeah.
This is not for me. That my business is not suitable for this.
Right.
This is a must, right? That says if you're not online, you're not in business. Okay. So the marketplace enable any Main Street business, mom and pop, local and small business to navigate doing business online.
Right.
Number 4, the marketplace makes it easy for you to transact business with all of your customers, whether they are cash paying, as Van Roy said, debit card, credit card, consumer, or using now all the digital currencies that are available, Bitcoin, Ethereum, that's out there. And the sign up process is what Van Roy and Chris are going to walk you through that to show you how frictionless and how easy it is to get it done. So I'm gonna bring up I think it's slide number 1 that makes reference to the process as you think about, okay, is this for you, and the benefits and why you should do that. So I don't know if it's Chris or Van Roy, but here's step number 1.
Yeah, so I'll walk through this real quick. So that first slide, if you just roll back to the slide before this one, Anthony, if you can. So this is basically a simple landing. Whoops, just went away. So I was just getting on a roll too. All right, there we go. So
this one,
yeah,
that one you just had up. There we go.
They're walking on the street. It's like a marketplace.
Yeah. So this is, small town USA. These are businesses where, notice they're not masked at the moment. So we've chosen an image that doesn't represent immediately today, but we're going to get back to normal.
Yep.
But essentially right now, the only place to go is online to make these purchases. So it's as easy as this. You land on the website, you click on the Get Started button, which, Anthony, next slide, it'll run right into a registration process where you can register right here with us. Simple information. You'll create your account essentially. Next slide, Anthony. You'll create a store. Okay, so if you're going to sell your services or products right online, you'll create your own store right within our environment. Takes minutes to do this. Next step, Anthony. You'll add products. So essentially, if you're marketing watches or coats or apparel or services of any kind, you'll create a product name and a description. You'll select a category for that product. You'll price it. And then once those products, plural, are added to the store itself, next step, Anthony. You'll save this environment, and then you'll have a unique URL that you can simply copy and paste to your website or to a button on a web page that you've created through our system to share that store. So with this unique URL, your store will now be visible to all of your social media followers. And as a result of that, you'll have an opportunity to share your products or services and the ability to support you as a business owner immediately in the marketplace. All of this takes minutes to create, and it is entirely frictionless. There's 4 steps in the process, and as I've walked through them, as quickly as you can type, you can create you can sign up with us, create your store, add your products, and share your unique URL on your website or again on a web page that we've helped you to create as well. So so that's as simple as it gets, and 4 simple steps to putting your business online and working with your social media followers to make them aware that you in fact are available to fulfill their needs. And we're really proud of it. It's been a lot of work to put it together. But
why do you think? And I want to go back to one of the points that was made in the why. A lot of bullet point number two. Some people take the position if they have a website, they don't need to do anything else. They have a website and they can just simply drive people to their website. But then there are those who have websites. I'm sorry, there are those who don't have a website, period. They're doing business, but they don't have a website. And then there are those who have a website and don't feel they need to do anything else or anywhere else. But then you have businesses who have created multiple channels where they're selling on eBay, they're selling on Amazon, they're selling on Shopify, Wix, Equid, Etsy, et cetera, where they're trying to maximize how they can reach customers, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Chris, could you talk a little bit about the difference between where if you're trying to simply do a scattergun approach and you're trying to doing business with anyone, that the focus of this platform and the localization approach, as opposed to this 1,000 beam of lights approach to trying to pull in, cast a wide net to bring in customers.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can probably take that slide down, Anthony. So the big picture is you've got two choices in terms of target marketing. So to Terry's point, right? Identify who is most likely to support your business. That's step one. Mm-hmm. And I can assure you, the people who are most likely to support your business are people who know you. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're in your social media sphere of influence. You need to reach to those people, not try to find new customers all over the country or all over the world. Maybe you'll get there. Okay, but for right now, survival depends on you communicating your wares or your services to the people in your social media sphere right now. Those are the people you need to reach. Forget about all of the other Etsy's and all these other places where you might be seen. You're a needle in a haystack in those environments, okay? Yeah. You're never going to be found there, okay? You just aren't. You can't afford to be positioning yourself there. It's too expensive, and there are too many competitors for eyeballs. So if what Anthony said is correct and people are spending 2 hours a day on their iPhone, you need to be what they're seeing. And the best way to do that is to leverage your social media sphere and be in front of them. And our system, again, for less than the cost of a cup of coffee a day, puts you in a position where not only can you be in front of them, but you can take that link that we've created for you when you developed your store and posted your products, simply copy and paste that into a button on that page that will help you create to our social media marketing platform, and you're in business. You're able to communicate that message twice a day, every day, to every follower you have. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, you can push it out there. And here's the beauty of this, okay? If you've got a compelling message and your service or product is of value to the consumer, the nice thing about social media is it's very easily shared with their friends. So you have an exponential opportunity by simply leveraging your own sphere of social media influence to infiltrate your friends and your followers' social media sphere of influence. That is the exponential growth you need. You do not need to be on these other platforms. You need to be on this one. This one will drive your sales in a way that the others simply will not. And I promise you, if you leverage it and you do the work for less than the cost of a cup of coffee a day, you're in a much better position to market your services than you've ever been before. And all at a time when it's so necessary to be in front of these people. Take advantage of that. It's a winner for you. And we've made it as easy as possible to do that. A shotgun approach won't do it.
Mm-hmm. I have a question for you. So a lot of what we do when we're putting together a marketing plan for my clients, and when I'm teaching clients in my marketing class, a lot of what we do is that messaging that you just talked about. And so, you just walked us through, and I mean, it's super easy. It appears to be super simple to set it up. You get your URL and then you're ready to go, right? So that's your license to go out and, and get individuals to understand that you have this wonderful product or service. But for us, for a business, it's about that messaging. How do you help them with that messaging? A lot of times, if the businesses, if they don't know they need a website, right? They don't want to spend money on marketing. They're not clear what their message should be. So how does this platform help them with that? Because that's really, really important, because they don't want to get lost in the weeds, right? Even if you copy the URL and you copy it to your personal people, the folk that love you, they'll get right back at you. But the folk that may be able to use the service and share it with others, if your message isn't breaking through the glass ceiling, they're not necessarily going to capture it in that moment. So you want to silence the noise and kind of break through. How do you help them with that?
Yeah, so part of our social media marketing platform, the creation of the page for the individual also takes minutes. Okay, so what they'll do is they'll put just very simple information in about their business, what industry they're in, what sub-industry. Okay, so let's say that they're a building contractor and they specialize in windows. Okay, that's enough. That's all we need to know. Okay, our artificial intelligence and machine learning will take that data and actually create posts for them that they can post twice a day to social media. They don't even need to think about it.
Okay.
And all they'll do is click, 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 right? 3 clicks a day, twice a day. They will be exposed on social media. All of their friends and followers will see those messages. And it's designed around interest marketing. It won't necessarily be anything about doors and windows or contracting, but rather things that our AI system determines that those who might buy windows also look for. Okay. And by leveraging that, what you're doing is you're creating content marketing, but also just interest marketing. So as people look at things and click on it, they say, well, that's interesting. I know Chris, and I know he does doors and windows. Okay, well, but this is an interesting article. This isn't about doors and windows. This is about increasing the value of your home. Let me take a look at this. Now, what I've done is tangentially, I've created interest around increasing the value of my home. Well, how am I going to do that? How does Chris do that? Well, Chris goes and installs some new windows. Interesting. Okay. So by doing that, I'm not actually selling myself out on the marketplace. What I'm doing is creating interest that drives clicks back to me. And what I want them to do is understand that I'm here and visually appeal to them through, pictures out on the internet and so forth that allow them to come to me, learn a little bit more about what I do, and click on that button that takes them to my store. So that's the key ingredient. So
and that's the secret sauce, actually.
That's the secret sauce.
That's the secret sauce, and that's important for small businesses, because again, when you are you have limited time, you have limited resources. You create your page, but you do have to have that message, right? Because like you said, it has to be an interesting message for it to break through that glass ceiling. And so that is definitely the secret sauce. And so I see Anthony drop back on. Our time is not up yet, is it, Anthony?
Unfortunate, time flies when you're...
Wow, when Anthony comes back on, you're like, dang it.
I'm sorry. And plus, Chris has a hard stop too, so I just had to keep that in mind as well. So... but any closing thoughts, please, before we wrap up? Any closing thoughts?
I'll jump in first with a closing thought. So my closing thought would be that businesses that have, all of those pain points that Anthony described before. So you have a limited amount of time, you have a limited amount of capital, and you understand now that you're in a virtual world now that you must market in order to grow, in order to thrive. This is an excellent opportunity for you to take advantage of the Human Up system, their website. It's very easy. As we saw, I was like, in a few minutes, you can click on and create your own page. But more importantly, the secret sauce is the marketing. And so actually getting that message so you can market and break through, all the other voices and have something to say around it. I think that is the secret sauce. And so I'm glad to be a part of this as, an offering to the small businesses that need this additional service so that they can actually grow. So thanks again to Anthony in the Marketplace for providing these tools, these tips, and these resources. And I ask anyone that's listening to us to tune in again, because this is what we're going to be bringing in the marketplace so that you are able to grow in your business. And thanks again, Anthony. Thanks again, Chris, for all the information into Velra. Thank you.
Absolutely. And the only thing I would add to what Terry just said, I would echo all of that. Again, your your best opportunity for new business today rests within your social media sphere of influence. Mm-hmm. If you tap into that social media sphere of influence, you're tapping into an opportunity to leverage the people that know you best and are most likely to support your business. Ask for help, leverage the tools. They're here for you. Again, less than the cost of a cup of coffee a day. It can't be any cheaper. The friction has been removed from the process. We've really democratized this solution, and we're really proud to offer it and really help small businesses to make it through this difficult time and beyond. I think survival is first and foremost, but we really want these businesses to thrive over time, and it's time to take back that control. And this platform really allows people to do that, maintain the independence that's made these small businesses the fabric of America and beyond.
Yeah.
All right. And let me just say, to sign up, like I said, keeping it simple, easy. All you have to do is go to www.localbiz.store. localbiz.store, localbiz.store. To learn more, to get some more information, to sign up, it's easy and simple to make it happen. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Van Roy. Thank you, Chris. All right, and we'll talk soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.